Hello and welcome to this video where we discuss the latest innovation in the food industry, meatballs made with mammoth DNA. That's right, a food startup from Australia, VAO, has created a meatball made with an approximation of mammoth meat in a lab. The goal of this project, according to the company, is to draw attention to the potential of cultured meat to make eating habits more planet-friendly. Before we dive into the details of how this was made, let's first understand why this is a big deal. The food system is responsible for about a third of global greenhouse gas emissions, most of which result from animal agriculture. Advocates hope that cultured meat, also known as lab-grown meat, will reduce the need to slaughter animals for food and help fight the climate crisis. With this mammoth meatball, VAO is hoping to spark conversation and bring attention to the possibilities of cultured meat. Now, let's talk about how this was made. The scientists working on this project did not have access to a frozen stash of mammoth tissue, so they focused on a protein present in mammals called myoglobin that gives meat its texture, color, and taste. They identified the DNA sequence for the mammoth version of myoglobin in a publicly available genome database, and filled in the gaps using information from the genome of an African elephant. The synthesized gene was then inserted into a sheep muscle cell, which was cultured or grown in a lab. The result? About 400 grams of mammoth meat, or more specifically, lab-made lamb mingled with a tiny amount of mammoth DNA. Although the name mammoth meat is a bit of a stretch, the mammoth myoglobin did change the physical appearance of the sheep muscle cells. But don't get too excited about trying this meatball yourself. It is not intended for human consumption. In fact, even the scientists behind the project have not tasted it. They are hesitant to immediately try and taste it because they are dealing with a protein that hasn't existed for 5,000 years, and they have no idea about the potential allergenicity or safety profile of this particular protein. This mammoth meatball is more of a wonderfully wacky publicity stunt to spark conversation around the possibilities of cultured meat. VAO hopes to soon get regulatory approval in Singapore, the first country to approve cultured meat, to sell lab-made quail meat it has developed. In the United States, the FDA has said that lab-grown chicken is okay for human consumption. Although our Stone Age ancestors hunted and presumably feasted on mammoth, Love Dahlen, a professor of evolutionary genomics at Stockholm University's Center for Paleogenetics, who sequenced the world's oldest mammoth DNA, says that he could not see great scientific value in the meatball project. However, were they ever to go on sale, he said he would definitely taste one. Without doubt, I would love to try this. It cannot possibly taste worse than real mammoth meat, he said. The meatball will join the collection at Rijksmuseum Boerhaave in the Netherlands, a museum of science and medicine. While this mammoth meatball may not be available for consumption, it certainly is a conversation starter around the possibilities of cultured meat and how it could potentially revolutionize the food industry. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments below, would you try a lab-grown mammoth meatball?